Can't believe this is my second video in a week. Who even am I? But today we are going to run through a typical day of eating as a PCOS gal who has got her PCOS like fully under control. I'm gonna say that with confidence. It's fully under control. A year and a half ago I was diagnosed with PCOS, and if we go back a year and a half, my hormones were out of control. My cycle was super irregular. My mood was crazy. Gained a lot of weight, typical PCOS symptoms, and I really struggled to get it under control. Massively struggled. In the last year, I've done so much educating, so much trial and error, and just figuring out what works for me. So I thought this would be a nice little video to like show what I eat in a day and actually like explain things as well, because I think there's just a lot of misinformation online about hormonal conditions, and it can be very confusing for women. Like, I speak to women all the time who are like inquiring about coaching, who are just so confused about what to do. And we work with so many women who have PCOS. We've helped them drop body fat, literally change their whole lives, put their symptoms into as remission as possible. Like, you're never going to get rid of it, obviously, but you can manage it. And we successfully do that for so many women. So I'm going to try to share my day. First of all, it's 10 a.m. now, and I'm about to make my breakfast. So I try to eat within like my first like 2 to 3 hours of waking. And the most important thing is that I just make sure I don't train when I'm fasted. What I did just do there was go for like a 25-minute walk, and then I done a bit of core, because that's like super like low intense. So that was my morning, and I listened to a podcast. Again, as much as possible, I try not to be like on my phone first thing in the morning. I don't always do a good job at that, but I try to listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook, something positive in the mornings. You might ask, why does this relate to PCOS? Well, cortisol management. If we can keep cortisol levels steady, as steady as possible, then that massively helps with balancing out your symptoms as well. And so general lifestyle as well as nutrition is really important for managing PCOS. So that was my morning, and now I'm about to make my breakfast, which I will show you when it's done. Okay, so breakfast every single day is eggs, egg whites, salmon and sourdough bread. I eat this daily. A savoury breakfast is king for PCOS. Okay, breakfast is served. And the reason we go for a savoury breakfast with PCOS is all got to do with managing your blood glucose. So a lot of women that have PCOS will also be insulin resistant. And if you are starting your day with cereal, oats, fruit, you're probably causing your blood sugars to spike immediately in the day. And then you're sitting at that higher blood glucose state through the day. Your cravings are higher. It's harder to stick to a deficit. And a mixture of these healthy fats and also the high protein in this meal helps to stabilise those blood sugars immediately in the day. And I find for me that when I have a savoury breakfast, I literally do not get cravings. I get cravings around my cycle, but I do not crave anything. I'm satisfied till my next meal, and it just prevents me like wanting to pick and raid the cupboards. So savoury breakfast for the win. And I go for sourdough bread because it has like a lower gluten content due to the fermentation process. Personally, I'm a little bit sensitive to gluten. It's not essential for everyone who has PCOS to not eat gluten, but I like to reduce my intake as much as I can. And also, it's not going to spike your blood sugars as quickly as having like a regular slice of bread. So that's a little swap you could make, even just to the bread or to your breakfast, where you're making sure that you're having 25 to 30 grams of protein in your first meal, high in healthy fats, and preferably I would like to have some veg with this meal as well, but I don't have any right now. So we're going to just pretend that there's like spinach or something on this plate, because usually that is what I would have with it. But yeah, that is my brekkie. Final note post breakfast before I crack on with my day, but no caffeine on an empty stomach. Please, ladies, even if you don't have PCOS, stop drinking coffee on an empty stomach. I know it's tempting, and I know when you wake up the first thing you want is caffeine, but again, cortisol spike, it just puts your body in fight or flight. There's no need for it. So in the morning I would usually have a decaf. Like, if I want to have the taste of coffee, I'll have a decaf before I have my breakfast. But this morning I actually just got up and went and done my walk and stuff. And then I'm having my first coffee post breakfast. So stop having caffeine on an empty stomach. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, ignore the outside noise if it comes back on again, but it's lunchtime. Definitely eating lunch later than I would like to. It's now 3:30. And that's quite late for me, but I just got caught up with work and I've like FaceTimed my family and stuff today, which always takes away time, but I'm having a little pre-workout meal. I'll train in like an hour then. So I'm having Greek yogurt with strawberries, and there's a little bit of honey in there as well because Greek yogurt tastes like shit without honey in it. And then again, some more sourdough bread. The sourdough bread is for my carbs pre-training because we've got legs today. And again, the structure of this meal: protein with my yogurt, Greek yogurt. I always opt for Greek yogurt as opposed to like protein yogurt as well, because like the live cultures and stuff in Greek yogurt are better for your gut. Protein yogurt has got lots of nasties in it, so I do try to avoid that. It fucks up my digestion. Strawberries for some micronutrients because I've not been very good today with my micros. And also if you're dieting, strawberries are a hack, like any type of berry, because they're so low in cal. And then sourdough bread with a little bit of butter, which gives me my fats. But sourdough bread for my carbs pre-training. And one little tip with if you have PCOS and you are insulin resistant is always try to pair your carb sources with protein and eat the protein source before the carbs. So I'll eat the yogurt and then I'll have the toast, because the protein helps to slow down the spike in blood sugars. So I always try to avoid having carbs on their own. And if I am ever having carbs on their own, it's literally in that window of when I'm doing a run, because my body can use the glycogen stores better when I'm running because it's higher intense. So yeah, that's a little tip for you girls. But this is meal 2, and then I'll probably just gonna have my dinner later this evening, and that'll probably be me today because I have fucked up my meal timings. But yeah, dinner is served. This is just a little chicken stir fry. This is like my go-to. So just home, showered and done my training and done all my steps. Dinner time, as you just seen, is a chicken stir fry. So yeah, it's like chicken, veg, avocado, rice, and essentially like when you're looking to fill your 3 main meals of the day, you want to make sure you've got protein, fat, carb source in each meal. That's what's going to make it a balanced meal. That's what's going to help with leveling out your hormones. And one of the biggest things with PCOS is eating at regular meal times, making sure you are having high protein sources in your meals, and trying to follow like a bit of a Mediterranean style diet. Like I'll always try to include salmon in my diet every week, lots of different veggies, fruits, like lesser carbohydrates. I kind of just go between rice, potatoes and sourdough bread for myself, to be fair, either regular potato or sweet potato, and then loads of healthy fats, so avocado, nut butters, dark chocolate, nuts, seeds, olive oil, etc. And that's what I base my whole diet around. And I try to follow like a bit of a 90-10 balance myself personally. Eating these foods 90% of the time makes me feel incredible. I experience minimal bloat, minimal discomfort. I live pretty much symptom free with my PCOS, and then I do have balance 10% of the time. If I want to go out and order a pizza in a restaurant, I will. If I want to make pasta for dinner, I will. I had pasta last night, and it's just about trying to find that fine-tuned balance with it, because PCOS doesn't need to take over and rule your life. You don't have to live a super restrictive lifestyle from it. I wasn't always able to eat this way. When I was initially managing my PCOS, I did have to keep food very simple, quite low carb, to really get my insulin resistance under control. But now that it's under control, I've been able to increase my carbohydrate intake accordingly, and I've been able to sit at about 2,000 calories comfortably without gaining weight, which was unheard of for me. And this is exactly what we help clients do at Empower as well, is to like empower them, no pun intended, but empower them to be able to live with their diagnosis instead of feeling like a prisoner in it, because it's difficult enough going through PCOS or any sort of condition. And the last thing you want is to feel like a prisoner in your own body. And so with the Empower methods, we try to educate our girls how to live a life that feels amazing for them, but also keeps them in like tip-top health as well. And yeah, I will end my day with 2 squares of dark chocolate, as I always do, and then that will be my day of food. I am probably a little bit low on protein today, to be honest, because I did miss a little snack in the day. Usually I would have a meat source for lunch, like either salmon or chicken or beef, and then I'd have Greek yogurt in the evening. But because my food is a little bit off today, that's how it panned out. And you know, this just shows that's not perfect, but you just need to be consistent and keep 90% of your food whole foods and nutrient dense. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. But if you are a woman who is struggling with PCOS right now, feel free to drop me a message. You can also inquire to work with myself through the link that's in the description of this video. And even if you just want a bit of advice, you can just pop me a message on Instagram, message me the word PCOS, and I would be more than happy to share some help and tips and see what your current situation is, because I had the worst year of my life last year with my PCOS, and this year I feel like a normal girl, and you can have the same. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video.